You can't change the orientation after you start? That's silly. Yeah. When I had speech class when I was a little kid, the lady would have me start out with facial exercises. She would have me do things like say A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. It was like acting class. Here, this is how you act like a person that fits in with everybody else. You have to speak like everybody else. You have to look like everybody else. You got to dress like everybody else. And I was like, that's dumb. That no, not dumb. That's stupid. That's not any fun. So, called today's talk K60 AM Radio. If anybody was in Redden, California back in the 80s when I first moved there. I had a little yellow handheld radio I put on my wrist, and it would swing back and forth as I'd ride my bike, and then I would just imagine the life that I wanted to live. I'd escape in my imagination because my reality was such a harsh environment. Wasn't very fun growing up in Redding, California. I'm not in Redding now. Bye, Stanley. Enjoy your nap. Kitty, kitty, meow, meow. I don't live there anymore. I haven't lived there in some time. I left. When did I leave Redding the last time? 2000. That's when I left Mom's house in 1991, Spruce Circle. Went off to, excuse me, I went off to enlist so that I could go to college, so I could get a good job and do all those things that people told me to do to be a productive member of society. To be a rat in the race. That's what I found out. People just want you to be like them, and I never wanted to be like them. They didn't do stuff I thought it wasn't any fun. There's all this other stuff I could be doing. I could be inventing things to help make somebody with mobility issues more comfortable in life. There's all kinds of stuff to do to add to your environment. We live in such a parasitic environment. People are just taking and entertainment, and I call it chasing sensations is what I call it. I was listening to Robert Phoenix, the astrologer, this morning, and I sit and I listen through so much stuff that I'm really not interested in, just so I can get little tidbits in. But that's just how it goes with Virgo. You just gotta take the good like everything else, and they're so unsentimental. I had a younger sister, 9 years younger, that was Virgo. And see, everybody has these potentialities of shadow and light aspects. Is where they use their heart, their life force, chi energy to motivate themselves and animate themselves to take actions to add to the world or just create more garbage, essentially. That's how I see it. But you got people that travel around the world and see what it's like here and what it's like there, and then you have other people that just stay in one place, and it creates a stagnancy. It makes things, when people sit and stay in the same one place for too long, it just kind of makes things, they just kind of start stinking, like their natural juices just, ugh. Stagnancy, there's nothing good about that. Yet, that's why civilizations fall, because things get stagnant. That's why America, the United States, or the divided states of America, is dividing, because it got too machismo. It's out of control. People don't control themselves. They don't even try. They're just so driven to cause destruction and harm and flax. There's just, every time I see that, I see like people hanging on to the glory days. They're just hanging on that last ditch effort to back when they could Oh, without little blue pills. Those years are long over. I see a lot. Man, I come across paths of a lot of dudes that they're so angry. And people tell me, you're such an angry person. You hate men and you this. And people are always telling. Well, I was like, why are they telling me things about me that aren't true? I don't understand that. That's not right. I don't say what they're doing that isn't true. I say what they're doing, but what I say is true. I'm pretty accurate. I got 2.7K videos of me talking about potentialities of how the future could go if people don't go within themselves and find that connection to source, the creator outside of ourselves that guides us to do good. I mean, where I live, I'm surrounded with a bunch of little hitos, primas, all the EOs and us, and, you know, it don't matter. It's just soul sax and ego, and they're just racing around, doing whatever they want. What are you racing to go? When I do go out, I don't go out much. I go to the grocery store, stuff like that, and I'll talk to, like, people at the grocery store. I'm like, what are they racing around to do exactly in their big stupid trucks? And if they got a flat tire, could they even change that tire? They probably couldn't change a tire on a Subaru. So, you know, all these people, that's what the world get. We get, how many civilizations have to fall before people come to this realization? Might ain't right. Chasing sensation just drives us to an egomaniacal demise for the collective, because Earth is an etch-a-sketch, and we're getting to a point where there's too many greedy, so creator's gonna come in and frickin', you know, wipe out the frickin' 540s on the table, just clear them with his arm. My mom had a boyfriend that did that once. Then we had to sit in the fucking ER because he threw a tantrum. We had to sit in the ER for hours. Drunks are the worst. Because they all think they're really great folks. They're just not. They're just not. Anyway. So K60 AM Radio, I was listening to Robert. He was talking about nostalgia. And so I started thinking about nostalgia, you know. And it's like, and then he was talking about pictures on his wall. And I have photo albums and all I've done is collect pictures, because pictures are a paper documentation of your life. They're proof that people have existed. And it shows their contributions along the way. It shows, you know, did they just do that same thing over and over every year? And what did it add to the environment in which they live in locally? Is the town a better place decades later because this person has contributed to it? Or is it just another shit town on the fabric of society because people just go around and do it all, always do what they want without any reprise? No kind of consequence, no consequences to be had. Yeah, how many people do I know that freaking didn't get DUIs because they knew the cop and the cop just gave them a ride home? Like, why can't cops exist to freaking keep people out of trouble instead of clean up the messes once the trouble's been, you know, they're just glorified merry maids at this point. They don't stop things. Why can't we create a society where nurturing and cultivating the being that is best for them, instead of hijacking astrology and using it to do their evil bidding and stoke? See, you know what stoking a fire is? You ever hear of stoking a fire? Well, they do that to people too. They get people all fired up by invoking emotions. You know? Like Abbott and Costello. Ever watch that movie? Abbott and Costello. Grew up watching it because that's what my brother always wanted to watch. So I was thinking about nostalgia, and I was going through all my pictures of like 2010, 2011. I have thousands of pictures, thousands. I mean, I'm sucking up data and database warehouses all over the place with my IT background, and I'm gonna make this picture my thumbnail of this video today. Cause I'm like, cause I keep hearing about these Buddhist monks that are walking for peace, and I'm like, those guys look familiar to me, like their outfits, and so I start looking up, cause I grew up during the generation of free Tibet, right? Free, they plant seeds. It's something over there. People over there, we gotta care about them. Whenever there's an organization that is gonna ask you to care for anything over there, over here, and I'm not saying that that's what the Buddhist monks are doing. Don't get it twisted. And then I remember back in 2011, September 29th, 2011, I took this picture because I worked at a place called Creighton University. It was the best job I ever quit because it was such a toxic environment. Because it was so many, because places like that, rules, regulations, policies, and procedures, there's beings that exist that are above those. You know, see, I police myself, so I am not compelled to use any agency, government agency, because I police myself. So when people have a connection to source, God, creator outside themselves, you know, we know you don't hit people when you get angry or frustrated. Children do that. And if children are taught proper, then they outgrow that when they're young. They don't bring that into their current, you know, if they're old enough to be afforded the age. And so these Buddhist monks, and this is right up the hall from, like, literally by the bathroom. They had this big banquet like room where people would gather and celebrate and do stuff like this. So I got to hang out with the Buddhist monks when I worked at Creighton. And this is before COVID, but they just wear the mask then because that's all sand. It's a mandala. It's called mandala. And I would go and I would ask them questions and I would talk with the monks. I was amongst the monks. That's so cool. So that's all different colored sand. And what they do is they have these spouts. They're like, and then they have little funnels that they put the colored sand in, and then they fill these. They're like, they're like long spoons, and they just guide and direct it. But the detail of this is pretty freaking rad. I was amongst the monks, so there's that. That was pretty dope. I've done a lot of dope shit. Let's see, I think I got more pictures. Here's another one. You know, so like at the end, because I watched back in 1990, I watched a movie called Defending Your Life. You know, I always just tried to fill it with good stuff, you know, and not just good stuff for me, but for good stuff for other people too. I'm showing people right now, when I was amongst the Tibetan monks, that they do this all the time. Well, not all the time, but like when peace needs to be brought to earth, they do this. So this was when I was working at Creighton, and they came there for peace to do these mandalas. So that's all different colored sand. And then they use these. Where's my finger? They use these like long spoons and funnels to feed the sand. Isn't that hella dope? That's hella dope. So I think I'll send that. I saw that Anastasia astrologer chick. She made mention of let's see. When I worked at Creighton Uni, I can't stand when people say university. I gotta chill with the I I was amongst the monks. I gotta be a MUNGST amongst the monks, amongst the monks. They are chill dudes. Mind you, a like my this was 2011, and then attach photo library, bloop bloop bloop. And actual size. They're all done. Sharing is caring, and yes, I do. I just like, yeah, I thought that's what life was supposed to be. Is like you just share it, you just go here and have this experience and then share here. But it's supposed to be educational too. It's not just about like overindulgence and consumption. That's where people have gone off the freaking rails. I said people. I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say beings because there's so many other. We live on an alien ant farm, is how I see it. That's how I look at it. The Earth. And Mom and I just watched Men in Black the other night. I'm like, yep, we have universes and marbles, and people are out there freaking Epstein files. It's like they're finally getting it. The whole life I've been harassed and freaking people have just dirty, gross. I've been propositioned. I've been, like people look at me and think I want to join their creepy stuff, and I'm always, nah, I'm more of a prude. I only do that stuff with one person, and I haven't met her yet, so I don't want to have to explain to her one day about what a trash bag I was before I met her. So I don't participate. It doesn't lead to any place good. None of that perverted stuff. And people think it's cute and it's funny and all that. You just don't. It comes down to it for me. Is my rule of thumb is you can't mess with other people's free will. And at some point, even when that, like, I remember when I was working on a friend of mine's computer while in the other room, there's probably 5 or 6 women watching that Grey movie with all that sex movie. 50 Shades of Grey or something like that. And I was in the other, so I was like re-imaging her computer because I'd go over to people's houses and I wouldn't be comfortable, so I'd find their technology and tune it up for them. I went home to see my brother one time. I have hard drives of his. I wonder what's on those. And that's what I did. I sat there for 8 hours one day, like broken up, 2 hours here, 2 hours there, a couple hours here. And, off in the kitchen, re-imaging his laptop that, his cush government job gave him. Because, you can go ahead and have it. We don't need it anymore. Because that's how big business does it. you know, because they don't have no souls. They don't have that connection to source that says, don't cause harm to that person, don't be mean, don't hit, don't steal, don't lie, don't cheat, you know, take a shower, act like you care about yourself. And then when people, that's probably one of the most positive things I got out of my military experience, is that it really helped, because mom didn't know how to take care of herself. She didn't. Like, she grew up in an orphanage with 2 feet. She couldn't walk until she was 4 years old. She was completely reliant on other people keeping her clean. Like, even if she wanted to, she couldn't. Like, and she would holler in the night for someone to come take her to the bathroom, and nobody would come. So there's oftentimes she would have to lay in her own excrement. And it's just not her. I'm not sad just for her. I'm sad because the world doesn't have to be this way. It's just because people with lesser ideas are in charge, and they've always been taken care of, and they don't know how to take care of other people because they never had to struggle and be resourceful and figure out how to get food, you know, and they never had to dumpster dive and, you know, do all those scroungy things that, you know, and America shouldn't be like that. It's so disheartening to, like, have an idea of what America was, and then to find out in 2003 what America really is. America's gross. And they're still fucking pulling their same fraternity bullshit. That was Metric Motors asking Marge. I hate when people spell my name wrong. It's M-A, it's not, I'm not a margarita. So you don't care about me enough as a person to know that I hate when people don't spell my name wrong. Everything great? No. It's in the driveway. Haven't driven it in a week. I have scheduled work elsewhere. If you want, I can I'll just say no. I said review to follow. So all I gotta do is speak my piece. I'm done. They don't care. They only care about money, and I don't care about money, so I can't deal with people. I'd rather somebody hate me and, like, be disgusted at the sight of me, but be an honest person, you know? Like, because that's how I am. Like, I don't agree with you as a human. You know, if I see somebody in a puffy coat in a Jeep, you know, stranded on the side of the road, I'm not going to be the variety that's be like, oh, they epitomize everything that I disagree with, so I'm just going to leave them with themselves. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to help them, because I'm always looking to change people's hearts. Because I'm good to people. And when they're not good back to me, I have to be real careful to remember that I can't take it personal, and that how people treat me is they're telling me how they are, and that's fine, because I don't want to deal with people like them. I just don't. It's the exhaust, you know. And maybe I was too good of a mechanic in the military, and maybe these people just don't have the proper training that they need. And let that be a lesson. Like, towns should be like Air Force bases. Whole towns. It should be a place where everybody in that local community can go and work on their cars. Like when I was at Offutt Air Force Base, they had a whole ass shop that you could go to and bring your own tools. I think it was, but I want places that it's like a library. Like you have a bench stock and people come in and you check in libraries and you check out or check in tools, check out tools, and you have every possible tool you can need to do the maintenance on your car. And if you don't have the knowledge and the know-how and the capability, that there will be people on site just hanging out to help you get on the road. Because the world is becoming more of a place for travelers. Nomadic. Because the earth is changing and we have to collectively come to a point where every species on this earth needs to be cared for. And I'm so over religion that's trying to, I'm going to kill you. It's number one rule for life for me is thou shalt not kill. Unless harm is going to come, like defending yourself. I'm not going to just stand there like Obi-Wan Kenobi and just know that's an Obi that just, just whoop, by, like you gotta fight to live on this planet Earth. And not just fight like, like see somebody on the feet, but like fight yourself. I have to fight myself every day from just sitting around because I will deteriorate if that's what I do. So I have to get up and make myself do things every day to move my body and move the histamine and the cortisol and all the stuff that flows through me, all the toxicity that causes organs to fail early in toxicity and just makes aches and pains. And I don't want to be a crotchety old woman. I want to be a woman that people are happy to see and that I give stickers to. And candy. You gotta be 21 to eat my candy though. That jingle jangle. Jingle. I love this song. Because I have such a broad spectrum because I haven't just focused on the same things. So I'm like an old soul that has been drawn to all times. And I'm not like Robert Phoenix in the sense that we are very similar in so many other ways. That's why I watch him. You gotta take the good, leave the rest. But he doesn't see things how I see him because I'm an Aries and he doesn't see Aries. But that's a history that people existed. So, but when people just are there's like sitting on a bar stool and there's one picture of a person sitting on a bar stool, that pretty much surmises who that person is. Like, like how many times there's a guy that I'm not even friends with him anymore. Come on, girl. Oh, but how many I used to party with in high school, he's still doing that. Like, he's still the guy that, like, he's holding his granddaughter, but he has a beer in his hand. And he talks about, oh, this is my most prized possession. And I'm like confused. Are you talking about the beer or your granddaughter? Because the picture would be nicer if you put the beer down for a second, because it's a Coors can. And so when the little girl grows up and every picture she had, or all of his grandkids, every picture he has, it's him holding, Paps. It's just, are people gonna evolve into being a better version of themselves to create, and make parks, stuff like that? And are they doing it because they're making up for trash, or are they doing it because that's what they are? Are they trying to cover up to don't lick that, honey. I don't think it's good for. I think it's milk. It's my coffee. I just spilled it. You're such a good girl. You're the prettiest girl in the world to me. You're the best girl in the world to me. The pinch your butts. The cutestness. She's getting old. Dogs start getting senile like people do. But I'm getting good at it. Like, I know how to take care of people, right? It's in me. It's in me. When I say it's in me, it's in my chart. It's in the impression, in the energetic stamp that makes up who I am from the time I was put on this earthly plane. And I got I'm highly activated in my chart right now. I got Cancer in the 7th and 8th house, which as I understand it, is where's my, I got a whole, this is Luna when I got her in 2015. Now her face is all white. She was 40 minutes from being put down. I was heavily, that's how I got all my dogs, is I was so active in the Basset Beagle Rescue of the Heartland out of Omaha. It's a great operation. They got their shit together. They do super bingo. They do all kinds of stuff. And they used to, meet and get like dog food by the pallets, and I can expand that nationally. I always wanted to help. I interviewed them to see like the different aspects of what pet rescue entails, because they have like distribution where they have people that volunteer for like 40-mile stretches, and then they pass the dogs off to get them to Omaha. So you have that, and then when they're in Omaha, you have like vetting. You have that aspect, and then you have the foster aspect, so connecting the fosters with the vetting. And then they had clinics that you could bring the fosters in and just pick up food. You don't have to pay for it. You're just letting a lot. That's how the whole earth should be, is how I see it. Like, money is such a made-up concept. We should just be one huge village. But there you got these little beings with complex and with inferiority complexes and ideas of grandiosity that just have to use their energy that makes them all spun up and feel like a man, and they gotta put it on stupid laneship, like taking over this, like they're playing fucking Monopoly. It's a stupid game. I hated Monopoly. Oh my gosh. The hours of my life that I wasted cooperating with other people that just wanted to suck my time. They just wanted me to do what they wanted to do. It wasn't that they enjoyed my company. It's like, they would ignore me. They were learning the strategy. They were learning how to stack the deck in life, because life is a game. My brother is like the biggest proponent of that, and he has he has all these people that he's around. So there's more people like him. He's in a fraternity. We come from a family of Freemason, like all this stuff that has historically shit on women. I am the curse breaker in the family because I am my mother's daughter. And she has a 5-planet stellium in Sagittarius, so she taught me the truth. And I picked it up, and he didn't. He learned the cheat. That's why I can't stand cheats, man. Only cheaters like other cheats, because it's a big constant outdoing and swindle and this, that, and the other, and I would rather go ride my bike by myself in nature. So in the 7th and 8th house, I have Capricorn, and that, as I understand it, represents sex, death, insurance, inheritance, partners, and resources. That's the 8th house. The 7th house is marriage, partnership, spouse, and open enemies. I thought hidden enemies was 12th house. See, there's so many different books, so that's how there's just always going to be division, because there's never linear information and data, except for me. The true linear information and data is just thou shalt not cause harm and create things that add to an environment, and try and do it without being too much of a jerk. And then I have Cancer in my 1st and 2nd house, so I'm going to get more jowls. I can see my face changing. I've been doing these videos since 2000. That's 9 years. That's 9 years. 9 years. Doot, doot, doot. I've been doing these videos. So I've watched I've gone from bald-headed to now my hair's down down to my boobs, my breasticles. Okay, so house 1, physical body and appearance, life perspective, new beginnings. 2, values, earnings. Their house 2 represents values, earnings, their use, possessions, and resources. Is, but yeah, so my chart is highly activated. Bloop bloop. Third eye activated. People think that has to do with being nice. Well, your third eye active doesn't seem very activated with the comment like that. And I'm like, dude, all it means is that I see through bullshit. That there's a veil between truth and lies, and I see your lies, even if it's their labels on a coat. Every label, because I see them printed, like, because I used to, when I was a kid, I used to watch, like, How It's Made. When I say kid, I mean 30. I used to like watching how things were made. Production. It started, the seeds were planted for me when I was curious how, like, the phone operated. The old rotary one. So one day, I was by myself, left to my own devices, and took the phone apart. And then I realized what I was doing, and then started, like, oh no, mom's gonna come home, and then she's gonna yell. Like, I do things because I get so overzealous. And so it took me a number of decades to, like, before I do this thing, imagine, play the whole tape through. Thank you, Alcoholics Anonymous, for that. They taught me good things. Leave the good. Take the good, leave the rest. Play the tape through. So, what? Like, one time I put it, and then I put it back together, but it didn't ring right. It did this weird little da la 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 la. Drove off crazy. Like, it still had an identifier that we're getting it going call. My brother was out robbing distribution centers. And I didn't so we were so poor, but back then, like, you could take a bus for 3 hours into the Reading Mall, downtown Reading Mall. And they had a Pacific phone Pacific Bell phone company. I remember because we had to wait in line for hours. I'd get bored. I'd bounce. Then they had a fountain out front, and then, like, so I go out and play and change in the fountain and stuff. You get a voucher, then you go wait in another line while people stand around and do nothing. We are the cattle, so the agencies, the people that make up the agencies, can collect a paycheck, act, and then go home, and then, like, I did something good today. You made people wait. Just like, why couldn't my mom just walk in and grab a phone? You know, but they have to put themselves up here and other people down here. And I never lived on the same earth as all these other people that have created these stupid. I remember the first time I watched Temple Grandin, a movie, and I was like, hey, why do I identify with this woman so much? And then it occurred to me, and then I started remembering all this stuff from when I remember a lot of stuff when I was a kid, but then I started remembering other stuff being triggered off things where people say. I remember one time I heard my thoughts out of somebody else's mouth, and they said autistic, and they thought they meant art, and I was like, I had that same experience in 1987, and I was always tested for everything because I acted like I'm an alien, probably an alien in government. I've been governmentally modified. I'm a GMH. I'm a genetically modified human. Agencies have been inserting things into me made in a lab from the time I was pregnant in my mom's womb. See, because vaccines, I don't look at it as vaccines like I think vaccines are made to modify humans to get them to be responsive and reactive. Because that is what my experience was. Because when I had in 03, after I came back from Operation Iraqi bullshit when we bombed Iraq from Crete, predominantly, that's where most of it kicked off from. I have pictures from the flight line from Suda Bay. And so, shoot, TLC made my train of thought derail. I can't remember what I was talking. Oh, so back in 03, they gave me 8 anthrax vaccine after I got back. So I was like, they put me in a special study. Special airmen, come over here and do something special, you know? You know what's special? Like, the special forces. I had to deal with the special forces. They're less special. You know why they're special? It's because their mommy told them they're special. You're such a good boy. You're such a good baseball player. You're such a good fraternity boy. You just go along. We'll give you everything you want as long as you just keep doing what you're told. Second lowest test score in the military entrance exam. See, because I was in age and we had to service them bitches. We had to bring them heaters because their hands get too cold. We had to bring them air conditioners because it's just too hot in there. While we're fucking, drowning in swamp ass on the flight line, it was over 100 degrees. And give me a break, whiner. Little. They're actors. They're all paid actors to create a contrived reality. So then they gave me 8 anthrax vaccine. That was in 03, and then 08, I was like, what is happening to me? And I couldn't even talk to anybody about it. And I was deeply immersed in AA. And so I had like sponsors and I had, Pigeon, all these people. And I was like, I couldn't talk about how I could be sitting in a room and then my body is just like wants to be thrown into a fit of rage. I couldn't talk about it to anybody. And then fast forward 2000, blah, blah, blah. They invoke everybody with the elixir. The controllers do. And then 2020, now we're in 2025. They're going through what I went through. And that was my fight to stay connected to Source Spirit. To stay connected to living from my heart, because all that shit disconnects you from your heart. And I've been fighting ever since to just surrender. That's what my fight is. To not control and manage and dictate. Don't be like them that are trying to make everything their bidding. Because based in egoical, maniacal nonsense. So, I can't push my experience onto people. I was taught that a long time ago. Marge, if people don't want to participate in your life, you can't force yourself. Because I don't know. I can't tell when people like me or when people don't. Thank goodness I was taught that how people feel about me is none of my business, and that it's more a judge of my character how I treat them. And so I try to treat people accordingly. I just have this face that is so expressionate. So when I look like I'm disgusted, it's like my whole existence of 51 years, the whole history of my disgust and disdain comes out in a look at somebody. And then they're like, that's a scary person. And really, I'm really not. I'm the least scariest person I've ever met. I've been trying to be mindful of what my face is like, cognizant, like conscious of what my face is doing. Because I walk around and people are just stuck in their face. They're stuck because they're stuck in one train of thought, and they're just mad at this and mad at that, and their kids don't listen, and they haven't been laid in years, and blah blah blah. Whatever people are mad about, they're not getting past this level of their video game. I don't know. I don't really relate to people much anymore. And they're just mad, mad, mad. So I'm trying to remember, like, you're a happy person. So I walk through the store, and sometimes it's so awkward that I feel like Sheldon when he tries to smile. I can relate. Anyway, I wonder if Mom's starting to stir. You starting to wake up, Ma?
Yes.
You warm and cozy?
Yes.
I need to turn the heater on. I don't know what the temperature got to this morning. It's 9:26 where I am. See, because if you do what your muscles naturally do, we're supposed to get snow Thursday overnight.
Snow overnight.
Yeah, it's 34 degrees now. It says it feels like 41. I should have looked. I started to look this morning and I got sidetracked. So, but when I woke up and had to turn on the heater because it was chilly in my bits.
Yes.
It's very, very chilly in my bits, Mom. It's very chilly in my bits. Like, we just lost the temperature in the room. But thank goodness for remote controls. Because when I get up, because we just have this electric heater is rad. It's badass, but it doesn't, I don't feel comfortable. I don't know. The way I know electricity, it has a mind of its own because it's an energy of its own. I look at like think about what's happened. I think about what's happening on the earth right now. It's such a trip. First of all, there ain't no way there's 7 billion people on the planet. There's not enough unity for enough communities to get together and put their numbers together because everyone's all secret. So that population numbers, that's all bullshit. Let's talk about allocated numbers. Now that's where they get you, is they say that there's that many people on the planet, right? That's what they say. And then they give themselves budgets, which is also made up numbers. So they got to get paid money, which is also made up paradigm. And all this is just to keep people in financial boxes. Because you get a social security number, that's your paper trail. My social security number is my paper trail, and I look at my IT background. I look at the access of which I have had from when I was age support at Offutt Air Force Base before I was even in IT. And then I worked at a place called West Corporation. And how many employees did they have? They had a whole ass knock center. Like, I went down deep below Stratcom, because that's what they do to all the new airmen. This is where the president comes, right? So they take the new airmen down there. It's like 10, supposed to be like 10 stories beneath the Earth's surface, which I found to be a little unnerving. But as far as I'm concerned, we were like in an elevator, went down 2 stories, and it just continued to rattle for another, distance for 8 stories. So, or just gone down 1 story, like that's what a production in a contrived reality United States is. And so, and then when I went and worked at West Corp in Omaha, it was just like, that's when I really started to see nepotism and how people got jobs because of their buddies, and then how they would always take long lunches and go golfing, and what it actually really was. So West Corporation, now I guess it's called it's a telecommunications contractor. That was like my first grown-up job out of the military. Is it still in business? On June, it rebranded itself into Intrado On September 11th, of course, because that's baby Jesus' birthday, and they're all ritual bros, it.Artists acquired Synapse LLC, developed a mass notification software. On January 31st, 2023, Stone Peak acquired Infiltrato Life and Safety for $2.4 billion. The Infiltrato name and brand will transition with safety business. That's what it all is about, is transitioning, spending money on this, that, and the other thing, and it never helps people in the local community. So encyclopedia.com. West Corporation, 11808 Miracle Hills Drive. That's one of the reasons why I even applied for the company. As 1986 is West Teleservices Corporate. It's all about, you know what comms is about? Comms is about recording conversations and blackmailing. That's what phone companies were. That's what like phone operators would listen in on conversations and then go back and tell their husband cops, like, this is what they're doing. Like, it's like everything's a cheat, and I hate living that way. In 1986 is West Teleservices Corporation, employees 24,200, sales, and I worked there in 2007. So I should look at it in 2007 is what I ought to do. West Corporation is a major provider of a variety of telephone-based services for large corporations. AT&T, Microsoft, IBM, Nuance, Dell, Compaq, Bank of America, Cisco Systems, MC. So this is on my resume. West handles live inbound and outbound calls and automated interactive teleservices. It operates 30 call centers and 7 automated voice and data processing centers in North America and India. It approximately 25,000 information age employees use the most advanced telephone, voice, and internet. They had a full-on knock, just like the military does at this company. Telephone, voice, and internet technologies to provide system services, telemarketing, credit card application, prepaid. Their lines were like who you call when you call in and vote for your favorite idol. They had like ESPN, like that's 24,000. Okay, so that's in 24,200 employees. And then I worked for the United States Air Force as an age ranger. So look at all the people under me that I was supporting, the whole ass United States. And then I worked for a company called G4S Secured Solution. That's the last W-2 I had. I think it's evolved into something, but when I worked there, let's see, it was founded in 1954 in Gables, Florida. So more security. How many people watch by and watch rich men? Like, if you want to go after who the dirty birds are, then you need to start getting the freaking IT people to come into their heart and find their connection to spirit. And you need to find the people that are in security, you know, that get paid to look the other way, to come into their hearts. Because Jupiter, Florida, I mean, I'm sure how many people, security guards, did freaking Epstein hire? You know, it's like, put the shit together, people, from a higher perspective. Mass surveillance of U.S. citizens in the Cold War era. During the McCarthy era, the right-wing George Wackenhut began complying. So it's like G4S is like they're dumb as a box of rocks. You can't. Like, I worked in IT and I supported him. 1 in every 46 American adults. See, they instill fear in people, and then they get themselves paid billions and millions of dollars because other people are scared. But if you get a connection to source, God, higher power, what do you got to be afraid of? You know, our energy is immortal. But it has a whole ass history. It has a whole ass history. You know, it has, let's see, where are the number security services? See, because they give them all laptops, and then you have your sales force that promotes them. And then, you know, that's where I came in, is because I was constantly cleaning off freaking porn and disgusting shit off these. They're all the same. I am so proficient in like human psychology, because all the creeps, they all have they're just all the same. They're just people. I have a pattern recognition on things. That's why I like astrology so much. Is because is it verifies my practice. Because like you see people, I start seeing people's loops, then I don't have to know them in real life anymore, because I just know what loops they're in. And I don't have no earth in my chart, so I'm very fluid. So I'm this way, I'm that way, and I contradict myself just because I sometimes I go against my own knowing, just to mix things up a little bit. History. Yeah, we used to have our bosses that came in from the UK, you know, pretentious freaking dudes in freaking tight suits that that wear too much cologne is all that they are. That's all that they are. Let's see, how many employees? So 24,000. Put that on top of George Wackenut. I bet he's on that Freemason list from 1974. Let's see. September. He was born the same year as my grandma, 1919. He died in 2004, the same year my grandma died. His connections, he's probably free. Oh, look at all of them. Westchester University of the Pennsylvania, the what is that? The state of brotherly butt stuff, love of butt stuff. It's all that they are. All those secret societies, they're all just freaking happy Indian creeps. University of Hawaii and John Hopkins, founder of Wackernet Private Security Corporation. His wife's name was his wife's name was Ruth. That's always I always like women named Ruth. They're always never been screwed over by somebody named Ruth. That's for sure. I know that they're out there, so you got to be Venus, revamp, babe. It's time to begin again, and blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Let's see. Where's the number of employees? Background. Relationship with the U.S. government. Oh, here we go with the contract. The Bro Club. Everybody gets a paycheck, and if you're friends with the government, you get paid 4 times as much for doing nothing, while single moms don't get $55 a month for freaking food stamps. This country is just such a crock. Oh, CIA, there you go. CIA, they created fraternities and sororities, like created politics in Washington D.C. because they couldn't fit in Hollywood. They weren't pretty enough. They were too insecure. Support for Saddam Hussein. The company was accused of participating. That's funny. Saddam Hussein in Iraq with chemical. We don't have whatever. Just such goofy stuff. They just print stuff out there and then it's stamped. Woo! Reality. Okay, yeah, that's a way it could have gone. It could have gone that way. That's a potential. I see that. And then I gotta find people that can support that. See, that's where I exist. That's why I know America's a lie, because I was there on Crete and saw all the resources and I'm just doing cha-ching, cha-ching. Like, it was like, I don't know video games. I don't play video games. Like, somebody asked me last night, chick I went to high school, she's like, do you play GTA? And I was like, no, I don't play video games much. I thought about getting consoles, but I got too busy with mom and stuff. Like, to get sucked away and to have all of my attention, put into fake world, I can't do that, and that's fine for others. I want to see more people coming out of that fake world to come out in real world and help me, you know, do stuff in real life that's at least sometimes, you know. Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry, honey. I just dropped the light, baby girl. It's okay. You're the best girl to me. Kiss me right now. Kiss me. I could fall into heaven with your kisses. Never be scared. Yep, we got good. We've been together 10 years, and she was 40 minutes from going to the Rainbow Bridge. Huh? We're just here to help make things comfortable. To see those little black faces turn white. That's like the greatest gift. Like it's like watching things grow old happily. And not be all scared and think, oh, paranoid and freaking out and scary, ooga booga. Because they put so much harm out there. And people inherently know what energy you put out comes back. So, you know, all those people live in the lap of luxury. They're just trying to have a good life because they know what they're facing. That they know that they did terrible things. And that they're going to have to meet their maker, because if you stay on this planet long enough, you come to these realizations. Kind of like that light. So, I found these things to be true completely, 100%. All the way. Oh, the lunatixel. The lunatixel. She's my little lunatic of pretty bits. Pretty in the bits. Sugar in the hips. She's my prettiness. It's so weird. I was thinking about the other day, because my boys all went to heaven. They all went to be together. My white-winged warriors, they all had markings that matched up, lined up, so that they all had they all made up angel wings. It's the coolest shit. I can't make this up. And they all came from 3 different states, because we were all meant to be together. We signed up for it in the stars. And Luna, she came from South Carolina with us in 2015. So she was late. I had my other one. I had Benny a whole ass year, and I had Tucker and Artie for 5 years at that point. And so they were always the pack, the brothers. And the brothers didn't always get along. And then Luna came, our moon. She had 40 minutes before she was going to be put down. I was like, I'll take her. I'll foster her. And then it was only me that could figure out how for us to all live together. And now they're all off in the Rainbow Bridge being our heavenly protectors. And it's just her. And it started out like the evolution when we moved to Oregon. Because she and Tucker would wake up. They loved each other, but they would wake up and attack each other and go after each other. They would direct, is what they call it. They wake up and energetically latch and gah! And I would just wake up, put my arms up and stuff, and I'd be collateral damage, and I'd have so many scars because I carry them with me with this. I got Santa Ray here. I got even Arthur Boo, because I didn't respect his boundaries and was drunk and was like blowing like messing with her, and he hated with me when I drank, and I hated me too. Because I didn't like me when I was sober until I started doing things that I liked about myself. And so we had to, when we were in Oregon, I had to separate her, so she slept with Mom in the rest of the house. So at night, I'd have to put the baby gate up. And then, like, Stanley had free reign. He'd come go as he wanted. And then, I'm having realizations. The boys slept with me at night. And now the boys aren't here. And she just gets to be the only dog for a while, which is something that I believe that she had yearned for or prayed for in her dog way to have her whole life. So she gets to be spoiled. She gets all the love. It's just nice. Huh. And then when she goes to her brothers, She can report to her brothers if like, what happened after we left? Did she get scary? And she can report, no, she was the nice lady. She turned nicer. Because that's what my goal in life is. So when I do my life review and I sit back and I watch all the excerpts of how I behaved, and there's been so many that I acted a fool because I am the fool. Hey Oka, I'm a contrarian. My name's Marge. You know, you get a soul sack and then you try to make the best with what you got, and that's what I did. I'm still here doing it. I feel like I'm aging so fast. It's weird. That's why I gotta stay. You know, I'm a jacket tirade, so Jack stay nimble, Jack stay quick. My days of jumping over the candlestick might be drawing to near a close soon. Anyway, alright. I'm gonna go ahead and get quiet for a few minutes for Mom gets up and around. I found my hat today. I love these. My last failed relationship was sometimes I try stuff just because I'll mix it up and do it different. And then the outcome is the same, but what I realized is I will not date a Pisces ever. Dating is not what I do. Or a Taurus, because they're I'm an Aries, they're too close to me. I'm not gonna date myself. No. You know, it's always subjective. That's my trademark. It's always subjective. You know what narcissist? Everything's a sliding scale. Everybody's a little bit of everything. It's a sliding scale. It's like, where do people go, and where are they not gonna go because they have a personal constitution? Where are they gonna draw the line of behaviors they just won't do? And I think about all the stupid stuff I did when I was drunk, and then I think about all, how, like, all the stuff that other people do when they are, like, and like, primarily Diddy parties, stuff like that. Like, people lose their souls. They lose their connection to that voice of reason. They just don't care to have it because they're just having a good time, But you could tell who these people are. I could tell. Like, all the shows that I didn't watch because I didn't like the people that were in them. I thought that 70s show was cool here and there, but then I don't like making people look stupid and stuff like that. I don't like that show Punk'd was completely, I hated that show. But everywhere I go, people liked it, and I couldn't stand it. So I just wouldn't go to the places that people went that engaged in stuff I didn't like. So I've been pretty isolated my whole life. That's why I often say I don't live on the same planet as everybody else. I'm not for everyone. Anyway, that's what I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.